Yeah, hi everybody. This is a 1 minute chart of the DAX. And what I just wanted to show you is where the price can lift and find resistance even on the 1 minute time frame. So you can see here, this is at 10:37. There's a rally to this point here. And there's one touch, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. It can't quite break that, which is 12,380. And then we see this movement now, which is starting to come south. Now, it may try again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but possibly for the 6th time to try and break through that, and we'll see. So you can see now, potentially, that could turn into a low test bar. It might try again, or it will continue to drift south, and then it will find support at another time frame. So I'm going to show you is where the support was this morning. So let's reverse back to this point here. So just at 7:10, you saw the break through here. So this was a support. So the breakthrough support, again, this is still on the 1 minute time frame. It comes down, just pulls back up a little bit, but stays within our zone, our down zone. A little test there, and then it continues just as the market opens. It then starts to push down. Okay, and so by the time we get to 8:29, we see that there's been quite a big move down. So from here, which is 12,376, to here, that's a 40+ point movement south before we see a rally. So this bar here, the 831 bar, we see this push up. So why did that happen? Well, I'm just going to show you. We can look at the 1 hour time frame. What do we see here? This is the support, which is at it's at 12,350, just here. So it went down, almost touched pivot, and then came back up again. It tested again and came back up again. And what I would expect to happen is it will test one more time. And this is on the hour time frame. So if we look at that 1 minute time frame, where at 8:31 we saw this bounce back up, well, that's what happened. It actually went down, and then it just, like a bungee jump, just came down and then bounced back up, tried again, went down, bounced back up, and now what we're going to see is whether it comes down again to the same point, and where it will actually, whether it will clearly break this, which is the 12,350 support on the 1 hour time frame. The break of that, which was on the 9th of April, which continued its rally right through to the 10th, was when the American markets opened up, which you can see here. So at this point here, around the 12,110. So just in a couple of days, we saw this. In 2 days, we saw this big movement in the European markets, in DAX 30. You can see how that's just stayed in the up zone on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the first tester is whether it will break the 1 hour support here. Okay, a lot of people look at pivots and Okay, we will look at 50-day moving averages and 200-day moving average, but the first is here, what that average is that it's been doing over the hour. So we're looking to see whether that acts as further support. So it's tested it once, twice, and it might actually have another go. But what's important is that you can see that if you were, so just keep an eye on this one, so this is the 8 o'clock bar, okay, when it went down and then came back up, so it crossed the line and then came back up. So if we go back to the 1 minute time frame, and this is where it happened, so it went down, so it pushed through, but it didn't close below the 1 hour support there. It then just, there was buying at that point, so as soon as it hit there was some buying going on, trying to buy at that lower level, at the 12,330 level. And you can see what happened next as a consequence of that. It went all the way up to 12,385, tested again there, came all the way back down to test that 1 hour support again. Okay, so this is what the 1 minute time frame looks like, but if you remember what that hour chart looked like, that was where it just tested for the second time. So in the 9 o'clock hour time frame, rallies again, pushes all the way back up, has another test up here, which is at the 12,390, and then it comes down again. And as we're coming through here, we can see it has, remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gets pushed back down, and now it has actually tested that and kind of broken the resistance there. So what I'd expect to see is this will just push up a little bit now, before perhaps moving south again for further test back down here again on that hour time frame. The time now is 10:57, and I suspect today there's just going to be a lot of moving around after the big movement on Thursday and Friday. So there was a big movement. I see the markets moving sideways today, and so lots of testing going on just to see whether there's any more buyers at this really high price. I mean, bearing in mind that the DAX hit the 12,400 marker on Friday, and if you look at the daily chart here, we are talking unprecedented highs. I mean, the last time that the very last high in the DAX was here, okay, which is at this point 10,114. Okay, so that was the highest point that the DAX had actually reached, and now we've seen it reach unprecedented levels. So very concerning that this is happening, because if you go back to 2009, I'm going to put this on the weekly chart. If we go back to 2009, you can see that the DAX actually fell, okay, with a low of 3620. 3620. So if you look at what it is now, we're talking over 3 times more that it's gone up by. Yes, that was a great time to buy in March 2009. That's a fantastic time to buy in, but the alarming thing is the momentum upward has now reached such high levels that this is where we will see a crash, unfortunately. And I'm suspecting that it will come back eventually to about 9,000 again from up here. So it's going to be bad for anybody who does buy in longer term on the DAX. Very different if you're short term trading, but if you're buying long term, then only fools rush in. You'd be very, very, very foolish. If you've missed the party, don't try and get in now. Do not try and get in. What we're going to see is a bear market trap. Okay, and this is certainly going to happen in the US markets, but we're looking at a bear market trap where what happens is the market is led into believing that all is well, and that the market will just, as they always do, they always create this impression, this illusion that things are just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up, and they just don't. Nothing ever does. Nothing ever goes up continuously without some correction, and it only takes something major to come out to send the markets into free fall. And it could be anything. I mean, even this morning, I'm talking now, it's the 13th of April, and even this morning, I mean, there's dreadful figures coming out of China, worst economic data since 2009. So growth in China is very much slowing down, and not surprisingly, that news coming out, it made a lot of sense when last week the Chinese government were relaxing laws with regards to being able to invest into China. I mean, buying into Chinese stocks. That concerns me because there's a reason why they want to do that. They know that things are slowing down, so they want money coming from abroad to come into China, and I'm guessing that that's one of the reasons. And we'll see what happens, because I mean, certainly that news came out, that just sent the European market down a little bit, but that's how crazy the markets are. Normally, under normal circumstances, the European markets would have plummeted on that news, but you know, the insanity has just kept things propped up. You can see there's a lot of resistance still. You know, you expected that just to slip all the way back through the 12,300 down to the 12,250 support, but no, it just continues to keep fighting, and you know, it's like it wants to keep going up, but this is where the bear market trap comes in. And if you've been around long enough, you will have seen this happen before. That's what happens with cycles and patterns. People get lured into this feeling that everything's okay, and then this almighty fall happens, and people just who got into the party late end up falling foul of it, and certainly losing a considerable amount of money. The serious players will have got out at the party at that point, and they just watch the collapse happen. So I will leave edit that, and we'll see what happens towards the rest of this week and the coming month. But this video is really so that you could see what happens on the 1 minute time frames, where you can get this kind of resistance here, and then it tries to push through. If we look at it on the 2 minute chart, again we're looking at it for it to push through here, which is at this level, and then also in the 5 minute chart. So there's all different time frames that we have to look at. So there's just a lot of sideways movement. So you can see it comes down, comes back up, crosses over. So it's moving sideways. There's no really know what to do at the moment, because it's looking to see whether there's any buyers. The buyers will be tentative because they're not really, and to be very low, thin volumes. Buyers aren't too sure whether to buy in, you know, because bearing in mind it is now at 12,400 it reached, so 12,381 at the moment. I mean, that's just, yeah, it really is insanity. You can see, as said before, that 10,114 is the highest that it had been at. So you can see it touched 10,114, came down, which was in October, and then it pushed right through. Even in October, I mean, the low there was 8562. So when people were buying from that point, 8562, if I just put a ruler there, so here up to, what was it, 12, went as high as 12.4. Okay, so yeah, so it's gone up since October by almost 50%, which is 4,015 point movement since October, 47.86%. Now, my question to you is, can that last? Can that last? 47.86% move. I know that they are printing money. I know they're printing money and putting it into shares. But can that really last? So from October, so we're talking 6 months. In 6 months, it's gone up by 47.86%. At any other time in history has a market ever gone up that quickly? Well, I'll leave you to find that out for yourself. I know the answer to that, and that's what is very scary. Almost 50% increase from here in October, so a low of that to this point here. Okay, so over 4,000 point movement from the low to the highest point, and so that is quite incredible. I don't think many people realise how incredible it is. I'll just delete that. Whoops, there we go. Put that back onto the cursor. Okay, so I'll finish up there. I'm always conscious of just of waffling on. The purpose of the videos is to continue to provide training information and to warn you of the monsters over the hill, and they're coming. We're talking 13th of April. If you're watching this video, the monsters will have already come. Perhaps some of you watching it now will not know yet, but they are coming, and I believe that by the time we get to October of this year, we will have seen quite a bit of a correction in all of the markets. This one we're looking at the moment being the German 30, but I see that coming down quite considerably. I can't see that it's going to sustain that 48% increase from October over that 6 month period. Look back, find out whether you've ever seen a market go up by that much in just that period of time. It hasn't happened before, so don't buy the DAX. Even if it went up to 12,600, don't buy in now. The probability is far too greater for it to fall than go up. I would be very concerned. Anybody doing that now, just continuing to buy. I know that they will, but I've seen it too many times before. People will be lured into the bear market trap, and they will lose their shirt. So good luck with your trading, good luck with investing, and you take care.